With us today on Island Focus, I have the pleasure of talking with Dan Gluck, who is the Executive Director for the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Appreciate you being with us today, Dan.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, in the conversations we've had on this show about political parties, while the Ethics Commission is absolutely nonpartisan, you do have a role to play in the state government.
Absolutely. So the Hawaii State Ethics Commission is charged with regulating and enforcing the state ethics code and also the state lobbyists law. So we have jurisdiction over all state employees, all board and commission members, basically everybody with a state title, except for judges and justices. They have their own separate code of ethics that they use. So we have four main functions. One is to provide advice. So state employees can call us and can get confidential, quick guidance on a range of different ethics issues. We also enforce the ethics law. So if anyone thinks that there's been a violation of the ethics law, they can contact us confidentially, even anonymously, and lodge a complaint that we will investigate and then take action as appropriate. We also monitor all the disclosures. So people have to file lobbying reports. They have to file financial disclosure statements with our office. And then we put all those on our website and they're available for the public to see. And then finally, we offer ethics training. So we do trainings throughout the state for state officials, also for lobbyists, their requirements under the law.
And when you speak about ethics, what does that really mean?
You know, it's a great question because we often have this idea of, what ethical behavior is and what people should and shouldn't do. And the ethics code sets forth a couple of different restrictions on state officials. So it contains things like a prohibition on accepting or soliciting certain gifts. It contains rules on conflicts of interests. We have a general statute that prohibits abuse of position so that people can't use their state job to provide themselves with extra perks or benefits or to give special treatment, whether that's good or bad treatment, to somebody else.
And when we talk about a state commission, it's for all workers or all employees of the state.
That's right. So each county has its own separate ethics agency, and then our agency covers only state employees, state officials. We also do have jurisdiction over lobbyists and organizations that lobby, and we have jurisdiction over candidates, but only insofar as candidates have to file financial disclosure statements with us. So again, some people will call us during election season and complain about people misrepresenting others' positions during the election. That's not really within our jurisdiction. What does happen with some regularity is that there are complaints against incumbents or other state officials who people believe might be misusing their authority or using state resources for campaign purposes.
It's such a fine line, or I should say probably a subjective perspective. How do you navigate through that? You know, when people are making complaints, and what's the process?
It's a great question. So, ethics is never black and white. We have a dual role of both enforcing the law, but also providing advice to people who might have questions about how to comply. And, we always try to think about, if we're overly aggressive on the enforcement side, then people may be afraid to come to us for advice. And we really want to encourage all state officials, anyone with an ethics question, look, if you have a concern about something, come to us. It's always better to come to us earlier rather than later, because if there is something that's gone awry, we can try to help to address it.
So when complaints are lodged, how are decisions made?
Ultimately, the decisions are left to the commission. There's a 5-member ethics commission. The members are vetted by the Judicial Council and ultimately selected by the governor. And they're volunteers and they serve 4-year terms. So when complaints come in, the staff will usually do an initial investigation. And if we think that there's a possible violation of the ethics code, we'll bring it to the commission's attention. And they'll ultimately decide how to resolve the case. Anybody who wants to lodge a complaint, you can go to our website. There's a confidential complaint form you can use. Most of the time, decisions are made public and they're all available on our website. On occasion, the Commission will resolve cases by issuing confidential guidance to the person who's accused of a violation. And so we try to decide, is this a big thing that really should be publicized, or is it maybe something minor or something that is on the line of ethical or unethical conduct. So the Commission tries to balance all those factors and again balance its competing roles of providing guidance to state officials while also trying to enforce the law.
Well, thank you very much for giving us information and helping us understand that the agency is there, your organization is there to maintain trust in government workers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too for joining us on Island Focus today. I've had the pleasure of talking with Dan Gluck, who is the Executive Director for the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Mahalo for joining us.